So I've definitely learned that about him. Um, I do my best to not to laugh at some of the things he does because it's pretty hilarious. My oldest son, however, Terrence, he's I can come home from work and I wear black long sleeve black shirt to work with red shoes, and my mans will be dressed just like me when I get off work. It's pretty cool to see that my kids are taking a huge liking to who I am, and they really, really love me as a person. So I think that's pretty dope that we have that going on. We have that kind of connection with each other. Um, However, though, somebody made a good point. I talk a lot to a lot of friends and family, or the only family I do have left, but a lot of friends, more so acquaintances. I talk to them about, being a parent, being a father, how it is with kids, how it goes. And again, huge shout out to my wife's mom and her family because they are a huge support system, especially when it comes to the kids. They are a huge, huge support system. So I really appreciate them for that. We're able to communicate. We help out with each other. They help us out. And even though it's not my family, just because the way that I see that they love my kids, I'll never have an issue with them. Anybody that loves my kids that way and genuinely shows them affection and respect, I have no quarrels with you because at the end of the day, you care for them just like I do, and that's all I can really appreciate. You know what I mean? I'm a grown man. I can take care of myself. So, not to mention sometimes they come through for your boy as well. I'm just saying. So I'll be honest. But I'm going to make this statement because somebody made it off of a video they showed me, and I was like, that's a really good point. When it comes to raising kids, a lot of people always come and say, it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village. It takes a village. And a valid point was made. I laughed at first because I thought they were joking, but then I realized that they were serious once they pulled up the video of the guy talking about it. The comment was, well, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, but what if the village is retarded? And at first I laughed because I'm like, why would you joke like that? Like, why are you playing? But then when you see how serious someone is, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this is something that you really thought about. So let me think about it. And that's kind of true to say. What if you are being raised in a village of people, in a village of idiots? And I say that to say people that are ignorant, they don't want to grow, they don't want to learn, they don't want to adapt. They want to constantly be stuck in this comfortable state. They want to be stagnant, and and in my opinion, yeah, if you got a village of people that just refuse to be accountable or refuse to be respectable or refuse to be, or refuse to grow, you got all of these people that you got to deal with and are around and they're helping you raise your children. It's kind of like the whole thing, what is it? Uh, One like the other. What is it? Something about a flock. I don't know why it's skipping my mind at the one time I needed one. I could. Oh, bird of a feather flock together, something like that. There we go. Birds of a feather flock together. There we go. So basically, you mean to tell me that you raised up in this village of all these people that are just teaching you to be unaccountable and be disrespectful and be ignorant, and you don't think that some way somehow that's going to rub off on your little ones, your children? I think at the most, if you have that kind of situation around, I think you need to change the village you are in. I think you need to come up with a new village, because no one said the village had to be family. You know, Luckily, my kids have the village being that they're on their mother's side. They have that, and they got me, right? So luckily, but everybody don't have that. For example, me growing up, I didn't have that from my family. I didn't have that village from them helping me grow and learn and be independent. You know what I really had? I had YouTube and I had a hope and a dream. That's what I had. You know what I mean? That was my village. Technology helped me become the man I am today. And I'm not, down in my family, but I just want y'all to understand that they gave those best moments and years and respectability or respect to everyone else but me. And it all came down to me because of who my father was. But mind you, man, my father was a magician. He had the best disappearing act. So I don't know this nigga just like y'all do. I don't know this much about him as y'all do. Yet I got I got to get treated, you know, for his absence. I got the suffering for it, but it's all good to go. But what that means to me is growing up, I had to find a way and make a way. I didn't have people holding my hand or showing me which way to take. I had to go down every tunnel before I found the right path because I didn't know, I didn't have the instincts, I didn't have the insight, I didn't have nothing that would help me do it but just, hey, learn. You learn from it, you know. They say experience is one hell of a teacher, and I will say it has been. It's been a great teacher for me. Regardless of what goes on, experience makes everything better, and it helps me deal with it on a whole nother level. So I appreciate that. But going back to the subject, if you refuse to be in a if you refuse to be the one to say, all right, I'm going to break that generational curse, because I look at that as saying, if your village is retarded, you're going to be raising a kid on a bunch of generational curses we're trying to break out here, right? And with my kids, I'm definitely not trying to do it, so I'm gonna swing the other way. I'm gonna swing the other way. If I was sitting there with a prime example, I don't really care for my kids to be around. The only family, Yodi D'Angelo, that's my cousin on my mother's side, her sister's son. That is the one family member to this day I've never had to worry about him turning his back on me. So let me not take away from him and his family, because my kids can mix and mingle with them all the time. But I don't really too much care for my kids to be around the other family I came from, because if I saw how you treated me, I can only imagine how you're going to treat my kids. And I refuse to let you treat my kids the way you treated me. I'm sorry. I'm here to protect them. That's my responsibility as a parent. My number one responsibility is to protect these kids. So I don't care for them to be around them, right? I don't care for them at all. But that's because that village, to me, that was a retarded village, you know? And I said it in a way of, when you got a village that just attacks each other, none of your neighboring villagers, nobody that's neighboring countries, neighboring states, whatever, are attacking you. But when you got your own village attacking each other, destroying itself, you don't want to put your kids in nothing like that. I'm sorry. That is unhealthy and that's toxic. I escaped it for a reason, not to bring my kids in full circle into it. It's not going to happen. However, I will try to teach my kids to survive and be prepared for it, right? Being a parent, it's no more about what I choose to do, what I want to do, what I feel like I want to do. Being a parent takes away from me entirely. It is no longer about me. It has to deal with me. It is always about these kids, right? So every choice I make, every decision I make, I have them in mind. Think about it. Y'all know me, man. Before I had kids, I was a party animal. I was drinking all the time, partying. I would go to work from partying. I would go out, be out till 4 or 5 in the morning, go to work, and then be good. Like I would have no issues with that. Every weekend, I'm looking for the next turn up, the next party. I'm looking for the next thing I can get into. I was having so much fun. But when I had kids, I let go of all of that. I felt like I had enough fun. I had enough fulfillment. I started dedicating every single thing I do for those kids, for my children. Every little decision I made. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Hey, but I'm not mad about those because I learned. I had a lot of lessons, not losses, lessons. My mistakes turned into valuable lessons that I had to deal with. You know, I learned from, I took accountability, and I manned up and I stepped up. I did what I had to do. Only way I knew how. You know what I mean? But I will never sit there and let anyone feel like being a parent is about you making the choices best for you. No, 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 no. Now I take care of myself, right? I drink water. I try to eat my fruits and vegetables. You know, I do my little cardio when I can. You know, I take care of myself. That's different, right? I take care of myself for sure. But I'm not out here saying, you know what? It's for argument's sake. I want to be a rapper, so I'm gonna go sign a record deal. I'm gonna go be a rapper. You know, I already know I'm being a rapper. I'm gonna be away from my children. I'm gonna be on the road all the time. I'm gonna be doing shows all the time. Be out late. Be away from them. I don't want to do that. I'm good. I don't want to be that. I am not gonna sit here and say my aspirations is this and that because I decided to have children and they need to come second. No, 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 no. My children come first. So if I wanted to be a brain surgeon and I was in the middle of my, school and or class and whatever residency, whatever you want to call it, and I had kids and I had to change my entire life around to fit their narrative, I'm going to do it because now my sole purpose is to get them ready for this real world, get them prepared, get them set up, raise them right, discipline them right, give them all of the luxuries I could not afford as a kid to make sure that they do great in life. Because I had my chance. I had my chance to do whatever I wanted to do. I had it. And I had a ball. I had fun. I had a wonderful time. And now I'm ready for the next step of me raising my little ones. I literally made copies of me, 4 little copies of me. And I want to do everything I can to bring them up in a way that, I wasn't raised to be right for them, to have them prepared, to be ready, to go out and fight the world and say, my parents prepared me for this. They got me ready for this. I can do this. I can do that. I want them to be able to, when the time comes for them to leave, that they just be like, hey, it is what it is. Now, me personally, I don't believe in that narrative kicking your kids out at a certain age or kicking them out in general. If that child or if your child is not being a nuisance to your home, then and they are of age like 18, 19, 20, they're not being a nuisance, right? You just want to kick them out because they have age now. I think that's fucked up. We all know how cruel and cold this world can be. And I will never put that on my children. If they need to be with me till like 27 and then they can move out and afford their own place, God damn it, be with me till you 27 and do it. Whatever I can do to make it easier for you and make your life better, I'll do it for you. All of the investing I do now, all of that stuff that I do now, it's not for me. It's not for me at all. It's so that way when my kids get older, all that investing I did turns out better for them. All of this shit I collect and shit that I don't open up, yeah, I may collect it because I like looking at it. I like seeing it. But once I go away and I leave and my kids need to sell this shit, it's gonna benefit them, right? Everything I'm doing is it's for y'all. Y'all can have it all. I don't care about none of it. As long as y'all are good and y'all are okay, we good to go. Um, it's hard sometimes having that conversation with people that don't have kids because sometimes they like to put their pets in the light and say, well, these are my kids. And no disrespect to any pet owner, any at all. I just want y'all to understand that those pets are nothing like children. Okay. Nothing like little yous growing up that you get to see day in and day out. Nothing like it at all. I respect you for having pets and taking care of them like they were children, but they are nothing like children. I completely got to be honest with you there. So when having that conversation and you throw your pet in the mix of it, a parent will look at you like, how dare you? How dare you compare my kid to an animal, right? Logically, we know you don't mean harm, but in the parent's mind, we're like, how dare you compare my child to an animal? It's just how it is. But you can't want to be a parent and then not be a parent, right? Oh, I should put that in one of my poems. I should really do that. I've been working on my poetry a little bit too, y'all. I've been a little more creative. I used to what to say? No, it's called Raphael de la Ghetto. I use that from Fresh Prince. So funny story, real quick. When I first started doing poetry, I didn't want nobody to know my name, so I just took the name from Fresh Prince, Raphael de la Ghetto. And whenever I would do a piece, it would be so cool to hear him just call out. And they would know who I am, but it was just like, oh, they really like you. You really know what you're doing. So I'll start, dabbling more right now. Then for a while, I just completely stopped. And then earlier this year, I tried to pick up again, and now I'm actually a little bit more involved. Anyway. So back to the topic before I say that. I can't stress it enough that when dealing with your little ones, it is important to have people around you that are willing to grow and be better people. Because people that are around you that grow and be better, they make you want to be better. And then when your kids see that you want to be better, they want to be better. So they try to do better. They try to do more. They try to do this. They try to do that. Like now, my kids, they know that I get upset when the house is dirty or the room is dirty. So when they know that or they're getting up, or if they're done playing, or if they want to eat, they know to clean up their room, and then they can put the table out and sit down and eat. They know to do this. Or let's say if they getting up and they wanting to play, they know to make sure everything is set down, make sure the table is put up, make sure nothing, no food or nothing on the floor, to sweep them off the floors, and then they can play with their toys, right? Little stuff like that. But I love the fact that my kids try to represent me in a way that I never expected. I don't expect my son to be fully dressed like me as if he's going to work like I am, right? Their mom told me when they be in here playing, till this day they still are like, oh, time to go to work. I gotta go to mini golf. And if you don't know Kiss World, we got mini golf, arcade, museum, stuff like that there. So mini golf is one of the things I do at my job. So to hear them reciprocate what I do and them have so much fun and see that it's a positive thing. I love to know that my kids understand that a man is to go to work, a man is to make sure he takes care of the bills, take care of responsibilities. My daughter, it was so funny because I asked Kalila because she said, well, a man is supposed to go to work and take care of bills. So, like saying like, good job on that. And I'm like, well, thank you. And then she was like, and the woman is supposed to do a man's chores. And I laughed at first because it's just funny to say it, but I told her, I was like, well, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But a man can help with chores too, like it's not that big of a deal. But I kind of get what she mean by that. A woman is supposed to help her out around the house, and a man is supposed to go to work and take care of home. So I love that she sees that and they see that. So it lets me know that they got the right idea in their mind. It worries me a lot that, they may or may not have the right viewpoint, but just to see that they kind of watch and they pay attention is great. So that goes to say, if you got a bunch of people around you that are just into negative shit, doing bad shit, what do you think your kids are going to see? So when I agree with that. That what if the village is retarded? That it's time to move to another village. Yes, wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly. If you want a productive and healthy lifestyle for your child, you want it to be around people that are going to grow and develop your child as much as they develop themselves. You don't want somebody sitting there just like, here go an iPad till your parents get back. I don't think I would anyway. I would want somebody to actually try to divulge into my kids and speak with them. Um, Another thing I want to talk about with that is we have been saving up for a car, right? Our car went out. I think I told y'all this. Our car went out, so we've been doing our best to save up, and I think we're probably a little over $1,000. Because we want to buy it. We kept trying to go to dealerships, and everybody was just like fucking us over. And they would tell us one price, and we get there, it would be something completely different. Well, sorry, let me put it like this: we go there, look at the cars, do all of the paperwork, and then we, come back with the cash or something. And then all of a sudden, everything is different. It's a different story, and we're just like, you know what? It's better off if we got to pay that much to just save up that much, go get us a car off the streets, and not have to worry about a car no. So I just feel like luck has been on my side. I won at the casino a couple of times, right? And then we were just like over it, like we were over it. Do you know her dad reached out to give us some money to help get us a car? Like little things like that, you know what I mean? The fact that it's the fact that a village is here to help us. We got 4 kids, okay? Four of them things. And they are here when we don't ask for the help, they offer it because they see we need it. It means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to me more than it means to her. And I only say that because she's had she's had that resource her entire life, and I'm new to it. So to me, see it, it's like the appreciation for me is like, oh my God, I think you're heaven sent, right? I appreciate you so much because as a man, it's hard to really ask for help from somebody else when you're trying to take care of your family. It's hard to really say, hey, I need help. And to accept it is even harder. So it was tough because I had to realize that I know he's trying to help because we need it. And instead of me trying to be prideful and say, no, we'll figure it out, like I had to swallow my pride and say, like, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, we really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I know she do, but I just want to say it. I appreciate it. So it's a different feeling. And yeah, it made me uncomfortable because I'm not used to it, but it also took some relief off of me, some stress off of me. So it was just nice to know that not only is our village accountable, they're respectable. They are there to help. They're there to help us grow. They grow themselves. They change all the time. Y'all know me and Diamond mom, back in the day when we first met, her mom loved me. And then when we had kids and got older as adults, we had fallen outs. And then fallen outs I thought we'd never recover from. And now here we are in today's date, and those fallen outs cease to exist. We communicate on a whole nother level. We talk with each other. We talk through it. It's just great to have that growth. You know what I mean? To have that accountability. Me and her sister, one of her sisters, we had a fallen out for the longest. She didn't like me, but now we real cool peoples. I'm not saying we best friends or nothing, but we cool peoples. You know what I mean? We cool peoples. We get along. It's the fact that the village that surrounds us, no matter what we may have went through, we continue to grow and rise from it. And I can't be, I can't ask for anything else, right? I can't be too hostile about it. I gotta appreciate what I have and accept what they're offering. Um, and I meant that because I was bringing in self isolation for a reason. The reason I brought this topic up is 2 reasons. One, because of that last subject, and then two, because I used to do that a lot, self isolate when I feel like I had help. The conversation about women saying the bear versus the man, that if they were in the woods, would be alone with the bear versus a man. And then they got a man saying that they would rather or they would rather express their feelings to a tree than a woman. And I'm speaking on all men. Let me not do that. Let me do that. Let me speak for myself as a man and what others like me have said. And I think this is why they say speak to a tree than a woman. a lot of men have tried to express themselves to women. We've tried that, you know, and talk and everything through, and we've tried to initiate conversations about what we have happened. But all of the when we tend to express ourselves, we tend to end up coddling you for how you feel about what we said. And then it takes away from the man actually trying to express themselves at all because they're never being heard. So a man is feeling like, if I'm not going to be heard regardless, I just talk to a tree because I know they're not going to respond. I know they're not going to say nothing, but I can say what I want to say and I don't get interrupted. I can express myself and say what I say without no problems. Versus on the other end, they don't get that lucky all the time with women. I'm not saying it's all women, but a lot of the time, some men are dealing with women that aren't fully, how do you say it? You know, I think a lot of women, and you know what, let me not say a lot of women. I think some women overestimate their ability to communicate. And I think that is where the issue ties into it, because a woman can express themselves day in and day out and let you know what the problem is and where the issue comes from. You know, that's not a problem for them to tell you where the ifs and ands or buts are, where they have issues with. But when it comes to a woman comprehending her part, it's become deaf, right? More so to say, it's like they can't receive the info that's being given to them. Sorry, they can receive it, but they don't comprehend it as well as they were able to dish it out. Does that make sense? And a lot of the time, I think that's because someone desire to just avoid accountability. Okay, make it like it's anything other than, you know, say this in a way. To be, I'm trying to use the right words so I don't say the wrong thing and offend anyone. So what I mean is, a lot of women understand that can communicate, and you can't tell us exactly what the issue is. We get that 100%. But communication goes hand in hand with comprehension. So if you can communicate that, you should be able to comprehend as well as what we're saying and the info we're giving back to you. Because if I express myself to you after I just heard you communicate to me what your issues are, and I dissected it all, I talked to you through it all, I went ahead and let you, reassured you on every single thing that you needed. And then it came time to me to express myself, and then it was more so of you're attacking me instead of you hearing me. It was more so of, wow, well, that really was for nothing. It just sucks. As a man, it sucks to be able to say, I hear you as my woman, or I hear you as a woman, exactly what you have. Let me reassure you on A, B, C, and D, and even E, just in case it might be lingering around and you ain't found it yet. Let me reassure you on all of that. And now that we got your reassurance out the way, as a man, I got some things I need reassurance on. It's like, oh, no, you good. You good. Why you talking to me like that? Don't do that to me. Leave me alone. Why, man, stop. Boy, you funny. Stop playing. That's crazy. Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that. Anyway, a lot of people a lot of men will self-isolate for that reason. They will, and self-isolation doesn't mean that they're not around you. You can still be around somebody and be self-isolated. You ever been around somebody and that person or that man has stopped talking really a lot and really expressing himself, giving you enough attention, affection? It's like walking around the house kind of like a ghost, but he's there, he's present. That's self-isolation. You just don't see it because in your eyes he's ignoring you, and that's a problem, and you want to argue and fight about it. But there's something wrong. And if you take the time to sit there and talk to him and figure out what the issue is and really hear him, you can get through it. You can get through it. You can get through it. Anyway, I have taken up way more time than I wanted to take up with this. So, sorry guys, I have a manager meeting. From what I'm told, I don't want to say anything. I think I'm going to get a raise today. I think I am. Anyway, I will let y'all know next week about how that went and everything going on. But I have a manager's meeting to get to on his phone at work. So let me get to it because it looked like they started without me. I will catch y'all next week on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Please don't forget to tune in all and follow me and subscribe. Mark Quan Thomas on Facebook, or Quan Facebook Joe Thomas. You can find me on all social medias at Juss Quanni or Quanni702. All right. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.